Hello.
So yeah, I've been texting this girl, and then I called her, and she wants to call me back, and I don't understand why.
Oh, well, maybe it's because your voice sounds
Really?
that way.
Do you think that's it?
I mean,
Fuck yeah. This is stupid. This is a bad idea.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm embarrassed.
Oh my god, it was the funniest article I've ever read in my entire life.
I watched a couple of compilation videos on YouTube. I've got it all figured out.
You're listening to the No Big Banana Podcast.
Welcome back to the No Big Banana Podcast. My name is Charles.
My name is Justin.
And Cody isn't with us tonight. Justin wanted to make this episode fun, so.
Yeah, the last one was really stupid and sad, so I wanted to have fun.
Well,
Fuck
it
you,
wasn't.
Cody.
It
Fuck
wasn't.
yeah!
It wasn't stupid, but it was sad.
Yeah,
so we're having helium from my birthday balloons
Yay!
that we're hanging out here. Because I mean, that's a quick, fast way to make things fun, right? It's helium.
My penis is small. Sorry, I this is just terrible right off the bat.
No, it'll be all right.
I can't take this
Oh
seriously.
man. So,
This is fantastic.
how are you? How have you been?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm all right.
Yeah, as good as we can be.
Tuesday was a little disappointing. Well, I shouldn't say disappointing. It was a sad episode.
Yeah.
It was depressing.
We had to get some
But,
shit out, you know?
Yeah, it needed to be said. So today we're going to have fun. We don't necessarily have to talk about D&D.
D&D swag, 20D20s in my dice bag.
Oh, hilarious.
What?
So what would you want to play? Let me ask you this. There's just going to be tons of
Yes.
crinkling.
Oh my god, I finally got it right. This is terrible.
Tons of helium. So
Yeah.
if you played a one-shot with us, what would you want to play?
I've been wanting to play a sorcerer a lot lately.
Oh, well, I kind of meant like what kind of version, but I guess.
Oh.
Would you want to do 5e?
Yeah, that's fine. I
Or
don't
would
really
you
care.
want to do 3-5 like a real man?
I mean, I've never played 3.5, so there'd probably be a steep learning curve, but I'm
Oh,
about it.
it would be. But don't worry, I
I'm
could
sure
build...
with the master yourself.
Oh, dude, I could build you something broken as fuck.
Hell yeah.
You give me like 7 levels, and I'll make you God.
Yeah, make it Goku.
Oh, well, dude, in 3.5, they're monks. If you think monks in 5e are broken, that shit is tip of the iceberg. In 3.5, monks that take vow
Yeah.
of poverty,
Yeah.
they get so much bonus.
Did you say
It's-
vow of poverty?
Mm-hmm. All they have to do is like say that they're not that they don't care about gold and riches. They basically don't own anything,
Word, so me.
but the right. But the bonuses they get are stupid.
Oh, okay, so it's kind of like you trade off wealth and riches for power.
Pretty much.
Worth.
To a ridiculous extent.
Oh, goddamn.
Is that thing true about how Tom and Jerry are actually really friends, but Tom has to keep chasing Jerry so that he has a purpose to stay in the house and that they won't get a real cat that'll kill Jerry?
I mean, I guess that makes sense. That is kind of the whole thing of why Tom gets brought into the house in the first place.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I feel like also, like, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, man, Jerry's the best. And then when you're an adult, you're like, dude, fuck this little mouse. Like, that cat's just trying to eat.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Tom's just trying to do his job.
There's that one episode where they both kill themselves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that shit happened a lot.
Yeah.
And like Looney Tunes and cartoons.
Yeah, they were
and
just,
shit.
like, depressed because, like, both their women left them.
Dude, there was
and
suicide
then just sat on the train tracks waiting to die.
all over Saturday morning cartoons.
It's a
dude.
nightmare, dude.
Okay, so listen to this. This is Vow
Okay.
of Poverty. So first of all, it's in the book of Exalted Deeds, if that doesn't tell you anything.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this? At first level, you receive a +4 Exalted bonus to your AC.
Jesus.
It increases to +5 at third level, and then +1 for each 3 character levels after that.
What the fuck?
At first level, you get a bonus feat.
Yeah, my AC is like 45.
At third level,
Does the 26
you-
hit? Nah.
How about this? At third level, you're immune to the effects of being in a hot or cold environment. You can exist comfortably in conditions between -50 and 140 degrees Fahrenheit without having to make fortitude saves.
What the fuck?
At level 3.
What the fuck?
At level 4, you get a +1 enchantment bonus on all your attacks and damage rolls. Any weapon the character wields becomes a +1 magic weapon and can overcome the damage reduction of a creature as though it were a magic weapon. The enchantment bonus increases to +2 at level 10, +3 at level 14, and +4 at level 17, and +5 at 20th.
Dude, monks are dummy thick.
It's crazy, dude. But here's
I hope
the thing.
I hope the title of this episode is "Monks Are Dummy Thick" with 2 C's.
Yeah.
Because I realized I just said something stupid,
But you have to
which is pretty frequent.
but you have to take Sacred Vow which is
You
a
just
feat.
can't. You just can't pick up items or gold. Like I don't understand what the trade off is.
Yeah, so
you
sacred
just
vow
can't-
is sacred value is you have willingly given yourself to the service of a god or deity or cause, denying yourself an ordinary life.
Okay.
So then the vow of poverty. So you basically you take the vow and then you decide which vow it is.
Okay.
So basically you've taken a sacred vow to forswear material possessions.
Ah.
That's it.
The fuck.
So you pretty much just like walk around with what you have.
Oh, so true monk status.
But and yeah, like you can't.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, so like you're in.
It's
just, you're
fucking
just in
broken,
robes.
but it's cool.
Well, I mean,
who cares if you're just in robes? Your AC is like 28.
yeah, but is it? Because you can't wear armor, so your AC is going to be whatever.
10 plus your dex or whatever.
So I mean, if you were let's say you min-maxed a monk in 3/5 and you started with 15 dex off the rip because you would have your +5 to dex.
Mm-hmm.
So with vow of poverty, that would increase to your AC would increase to 16. Or no, excuse me, it would increase to 19.
Yeah.
So a level 1 monk that has taken vow of poverty would have a 19
Are you allowed to take it at
AC.
level 1?
Yeah. I mean, the only
What the-
prerequisite is that you've taken Sacred Vow. So maybe not level 1, but at least by like level 3.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, the Book of Exalted Deeds is pretty fucking stupid. That's where the Troubadour of the Star is, which is a bard prestige class.
Oh, fuck yeah.
They,
Is it Troubadour or Troubadour?
It's Troubadour.
Troubadour?
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 I don't know.
Now it's just sounds
I've always
stupid.
said Troubadour.
It's like if you say like a word over and over and over again, it loses meaning. And I feel
Okay,
like that's just
so
happening here.
Holy Cacophony at 2nd level, Troubadour stars with 8 or more ranks of performed can, as an extra bardic music effect, create a song of discordant noises that hampers evil creatures. Any evil creature within 30 feet must make a successful con save, which is a DC 15 plus the spell level.
Jesus.
And yeah, everything was heavier in 3.5. In order to cast a spell or use a spell-like ability, using the words of creation with this ability increases the save to DC 20 plus spell level.
My God.
It deals 8d4 points of non-lethal damage
My
to the Troubadour.
God.
Then they can cast celestial spells.
Ooh.
But the biggest one they get is Celestial Ascension,
Oh my God.
which, by the way, is one of the songs on my new album.
Hell yeah.
At 10th level, a Troubadour of the Stars is so attuned to the ways of the Eladrins that she becomes a magical creature. Her
What?
type changes to Outsider, and she gains damage reduction 10 Unholy. Unlike other Outsiders, the Troubadour can still be brought back from the dead.
Dope.
Yeah, dude. It gets dumb in 3.5.
Yeah.
But
It
that's
reminds me of,
because
like,
the enemies were a lot scarier too, man. Like when you say that, it seems like so insane, but then you realize that like the original Tarask was immune to magic,
Right.
full stop.
Yes.
So
What are you going to do about
I
it?
mean, you have to be a Vow of Poverty monk if you want to beat the Tarask.
Yeah, for real. It reminded me of Saint Seiya, which is a fun anime. It's like warriors for Athena, so they take like the constellations and then they get like their armor from it. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, that does sound fun.
It's fun. It's an old anime. Like I wouldn't recommend the Netflix readaptation of it, but the original one, super fun.
I want so badly. I was talking to my brother-in-law today. First of all, how about any good live-action adaptation of anime?
I would be nice.
Any of them.
It would be
Just
nice.
one would be good.
I mean, you
to
could do
start.
you could do something like Your Lie in April. That would be easy.
Here's what I want.
Or even The Promised Neverland. Like that would be easy to do.
I want a live-action Princess Mononoke.
Oh, dude, I don't want to. I don't want to.
bad.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to sully that.
Yeah, but if they did it
She's
good,
like the original waifu, man.
can you imagine
If they did it right,
good?
but like, dude, I don't know if they can.
I mean,
The only thing that would work, the only thing that would make me happy is if they just basically did it shot for shot.
well, that's what I mean.
But they're not going to.
When I say make it
They're going to
good,
focus on a
that's what I
relationship
mean.
between her and the dude with like the goop arm.
Right.
And then it's just
yeah.
going to become a love story between the two of them. And it's like, that's not what that was.
I would also just love to see, like,
Netflix, stop trying to fucking ruin everything I love. Continue.
yeah, well, how about anybody in general who's just trying to make money? It's like, it's obvious that the Dragon Ball live-action movie wasn't a fucking labor of love.
Right.
I mean, anybody can watch it and see that.
Because like, here's the thing, man. Like when you talk about something like okay, so for example, Death Note. Death Note is extremely beloved by the anime community. Like it's still within the top 5 of like most popular anime of all time.
Right.
it holds a special place. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like in the sub version of it, when he finally gets caught, and that voice actor does that laugh, that is one of the most spine-chilling laughs I have ever heard in live action or in anime.
Right.
It was a brilliant moment, and like it's one of those shows that like has a huge following behind it. Same with like Fullmetal Alchemist. It's like you can't take something that people love like that, and like that's why I swear to God, if they actually do a Cowboy Bebop live adaptation, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Because I can already tell you what it's gonna be. It's gonna be the first episode, right? So it's gonna be about that guy with like the red eye, like never have to blink again. You know, the red eye, like he's holding the drugs, and the lady that's pregnant with all the drugs in her.
Right.
Like, it's just going to be that, and then it's going to be him falling in love with Faye Valentine. That's it. That is all the show is going to be, and that is the antithesis of what Cowboy Bebop is about.
Well, yeah, so many of them, like, and this again comes back to what I've said before, and I was saying it this afternoon, man, like, something about the Asian culture and storytelling.
Yeah.
They do it in a way where it's like, there's stuff that they do. Okay, here's a great example. I was talking with my mother-in-law about Breaking Bad today.
Okay.
And one of the reasons that it's such a good standout show is that it's very rare for an American show, in my opinion, to get you to care about the characters to the point where the plot becomes secondary or sometimes even tertiary to your motivation for watching the show, which is that the characters you care about
and
want to
Jesse.
see what happens to them. Yeah.
Straight up.
That's Walter White is a character that you root for even after he starts killing people.
Yeah.
Long after he's
starts
committing
melting people
violent
into,
crimes.
Starts
You're
turning
still
people into
root for
goo, and
him.
you're still like, come on, man.
Or look at the Joker. It's the same thing.
Yeah, straight up.
You root for the character regardless of what. That's why Clockwork Orange is my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Because you root for Alex,
Dude,
even though he's a monster.
Every
you
time
root
I'm
for
like,
him.
why'd you have to put Beethoven in there? Why'd you have to take away his Ludwig von? Like, why'd you have to do that? Like, you could have taken away the ultraviolence without taking away his Ludwig.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't have to do that.
Well, that was the thing. Like, that was, it's, you know, when you care about a character that much, then you can afford to lose the plot a bit.
Sure.
And if you don't lose the plot, that's when you create something really beautiful.
Yeah.
Like Demon Slayer.
Perfect example.
I don't give a fuck about this world that demons are in
No.
until you introduce me to Tanjiro and Nasuke. And now I care.
Yeah.
And then you show me Inosuke and Zenitsu. And I'm like, dude, I'm
in.
on board for whatever they do.
Yeah.
For whatever happens.
Straight up. Especially like Nezuko. Like, you want to see what happens with her. Like, you want to see her either turn back into a human or become the most badass bad bitch in the world.
And one of the things I think that lends itself to being maybe problematic for that, at least in terms of American cinema, is sometimes you have a problem where there's too many characters, like Game of Thrones. Where everything becomes
that was my
about
problem
the
with
plot.
the book. That was the problem with the book. Is that like once I realized like that every chapter was a different main character, I was like, I can't.
Well, dude, even Tolkien. Even Tolkien is.
There's a lot to it.
And Tolkien's beloved because people took the time and have over the years, and I think that Martin will ultimately be the same way. Like,
for sure.
Over the years, generations of people who really liked it have taken the time to.
And like
I've read themselves in it.
I've read the Lord of the Rings trilogy maybe like 4 or 5 times total in my life, and like I still find myself like finding little things.
Well, one of the things about LOTR though is that it is heavily plot based.
Yeah.
In that, you know, the motivation and love that you have for Frodo is, or even for Bilbo for that matter, is because the odds are stacked against him because of this, that, and the other. In terms of like big bad shit that's going on in the world. Like the ring is what makes the story.
Right. It's also kind of the antithesis of what we were talking about with where the plot becomes tertiary, where the world becomes tertiary in a sense.
Yes. It's primary.
It's primary. And it's the same with like One Piece. Like I was telling you the other day, like with the way that they do the news. Like the newspapers are the biggest flex in anime. Like One Piece, the reason why One Piece can go on forever is because they have built the most like honestly, man, like I would say, and I know this is gonna sound weird, I think it's a more expansive world than Lord of the Rings.
Probably.
It's massive. It's absolutely unbelievably massive, and there are so many characters. You could do an entire series about the sun pirates at the bottom of the ocean, or Skypiea in the sky, you know, like, or Punk Hazard, you know, and that's why like every time they go to a different island, it's a different arc with a different style. It's got a different backdrop to it. But the thing is that it's always Luffy kind of being a solo character in this world that's huge.
Right.
And it's kind of seeing how the world responds to him rather than how he responds to the world.
Yeah.
Whereas like with Demon Slayer, it's like that's how Tanjiro is responding to the world around him.
Exactly.
So it's almost, obviously there are many different ways to skin a cat, but like...
Well, I think another good example of that, like...
Don't skin cats, people.
being done successfully, it's not to say that Americans can't tell good stories, because there's tons of them.
Yeah.
But I just think on the whole, like, there's way more anime, I think, that's like really captivating from that standpoint than there is in American film.
I think that's honestly that's what gets me drawn in, is that like it's not just the characters and the animation. It's that I get sucked into the idea of the story and the and the experience. They do a really good job of character development.
Yes.
And so for somebody that's all about like characters and like plot and developing storylines and stuff, it's rewarding and satisfying to see like when Tanjiro finally does like the flame breathing and cuts off the neck of that spider dude. It's like that has so much more impact, not just because it's beautiful to look at,
but because you care about Tanjiro.
Right. And like
that's I think a good example of it being done on an American level was The Office. And this is why I bring up The Office, because as you know,
my One Piece is your Office.
I the beloved Michael Scott.
Yeah.
But the reason that I bring it up is that just like even from an objective point of view, The Office ran for like 3 seasons after Michael left.
Yeah.
And I think that more than anything proves how important the characters are, because I've been watching the later seasons after Michael had gone.
I dipped out.
They're pretty good.
I watched the whole thing.
There's some really funny episodes, and the reason that it was able to run for 2 years after Michael left is because people cared about Jim and Pam and Dwight and Kevin and all of these characters that had been developed over. It's just that, The Office did it in 9 years.
Right.
Anime does it in like 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then you're hooked onto a ride like, something like Bleach.
Yeah.
Or One Piece that's 1,000 episodes.
I wasn't as big of a fan of Bleach, I gotta be honest. I think it's because like I will say it was one of the first anime that like caught my attention, because like it became like a whodunit. All of a sudden one of the dudes, one of the captains of one of the whatever they're called, he is crucified on like the top tower in the building, and everyone's like, who the fuck did this? Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah.
And so then it becomes like a whodunit, and then finally find out like, oh, he did it as like a ploy to himself, like he's still alive, but he's like, and then it gets this whole thing, and then after that it just was like, I don't care anymore. Like I was just in it for that whole arc of the story, and then I was like, whatever, the rest of this is worthless to me. But like,
right.
I think they do a really good job. I think anime does a really good job of, because they're able to kind of accentuate the aspects of characters to an extreme in a way that like live action cannot.
Yeah.
Gets you really like falling in love with these characters because of how over the top they are, and you can always find somebody that you associate with. Like even in Persona 5, man, the guy, Sojiro, the guy that runs the coffee shop that you stay in, is the most relatable guy in the entire series. The game, sorry. I speak of it like an anime because it plays out like an anime and all the cutscenes are anime, but like, because just the whole time he was just like the most real person in the entire series. Like he's still got his own style, he still puts on like a hat and wears like a pink button up that he like undoes a couple times and like gets his style going.
Oh god.
But like he just makes coffee, like, and he's always got like this personality that kind of lends itself to like, okay, if I were somebody in this world, I would probably be him. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm not one of these like wildly like stylish and over the top characters that you see as like all the main characters, but you can still see yourself in this story. You can still see yourself in this world, and even though that they're over the top, it still fits into almost believable. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to get away with that kind of stuff.
I think also that it's easier to plug yourself into characters that are with anime, because a lot of times, and by
looking
a
at
lot,
you,
I mean
Zenitsu,
almost all the time,
looking at you,
anime creates for you a very rich backstory of characters that typically involve suffering.
Yeah.
Whether that suffering begins immediately or there's a background of it, you're easy to associate with that. And a lot of times in American film and television, it's more of like, Joe was a regular guy until he fell into a puddle of toxic waste. And then conflict came from that. And it's like pre-existing conflict is real.
Yeah.
As a viewer, when you watch something happen, you can relate to that pre-existing conflict more so than Joe fell into a puddle of toxic waste.
And you'll never believe
crazy
what happened.
shit happened.
Yeah, man. Well, like even like in One Piece, there's a point where Nico Robin, like, she just kind of joins up on the ship because Luffy inadvertently he doesn't inadvertently, but he saves her life, and she was like, all right, well, you have to take responsibility, so now I'm part of your crew. And he's like, cool, whatever. And everyone else is like, she was the enemy like 5 episodes ago, like, what the fuck? And he's like, nah, she's cool, it's fine. So then you start to like fall in love with this character because she just kind of is like part of the ship. And then you find out that she is of a race that can read like the poneglyphs, which are like the maps of the world that lead to the end of the world where the One Piece treasure is.
The maps that lead to the ponies.
Yeah, they're called poneglyphs, but yeah, it's just like a big giant rock with like ancient handwriting on it.
Are you a brony, dude?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
I may or may not be.
I've never actually seen I've never actually seen My Little Pony.
You would love it.
I probably would.
I have a shirt with Fluttershy on it.
I heard it's very much reminiscent of like Tom and Jerry and like old school cartoons.
It's very sweet. It's just good. It's just good natured.
Then I don't know why you haven't watched Steven Universe.
Yeah, I know.
It's so much fun.
I don't know. I might get around to it.
He just like throws bagel sandwiches all the time.
Bagel sandwiches?
Yeah, dude. Like there's like these crystal creatures and he's like, bagel sandwiches, and just throws them and they all like flock to him and they're like, how did you know that would work? And he's like, well, I would want a bagel sandwich if I were them. And that's like the whole way they get through this part of it. Whatever. It's a great show. You should watch it.
All right, everybody. Well, I hope that you're having a good week. I hope that you're staying. I hope you're staying safe.
Just
stay
safe while fucking that bell. Just
between
put a condom
pandemics
on,
and riots, and
I did it. You can do it too.
I hope that everybody is staying okay the best they can.
You're really killing this vibe trying to tell people to fuck that bell when you're talking about serious shit, you know?
Look, man, I'm just trying to be nice to people because I think that it's nice to be nice.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
I do.
It's easier to
be
nice.
And if you would treat that bell real nice.
It'd be better than being mean.
Just giving it to it in a soft, in a gentle, missionary then.
Don't be mean when you can be nice.
The bell. Just be nice
I
about
think
it.
that seems...
Use foreplay with the bell.
Okay.
Get her warmed up first.